thanks for listening to the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, producer Deb is sitting in for Paula because he has some exciting announcements that he wants to share with our listeners. All of this plus some unusual ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
If I became a great-grandmother, I would shit my pants. And producer Deb?
That didn't feel good. Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 473.
Ugh.
That's right. It's a producer Deb episode. So you can hit that fast forward if you want to, or you can check in and listen. But it's for a good reason. Many good reasons.
Did you know the shows I'm on are the highest downloaded shows?
I don't believe you.
No.
Is it true?
No, it's not true.
What are you doing? Don't give me a complex. No, actually.
Be giving Paula the complex, actually.
At this point in her life, she would say, I don't give a shit. It's probably what she would say. She does not care. Okay, so.
Zero fucks.
Before we get started, this is the deal. We're super burned out. Like, it's legit. The pandemic is one thing, but when you incorporate distance learning, teaching your children, trying to keep them busy, trying to keep everybody safe. As we all know, Paula is cohabitating with her ex-husband who is in the military. So there's that added element that most of us probably aren't experiencing right now.
It's like a Murphy's Law for her. Like, shit just keeps piling.
It's everything. They're finally out of school. But that just compounds the children's demands for activities and the boredom and everything. And so although our pressure for me and you is significant, just like every other adult in this country, I think if you have small children and you've been dealing with that since the stay-at-home order, you probably can feel her pain.
All the ships rose with the tide, right? But some more than others, for sure.
What's really interesting about this time period, and I had mentioned it casually to you a couple of weeks ago, that people are starting to crack.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all putting on our game face. We started in March doing it. Some people tapped out real early. And some people are like, nope, we're pushing ahead. This is just what we do. This is, you know, how we're going to do it. And, you know, I'm a diehard podcast listener. I spend probably 4 hours a day listening to a variety of podcasting.
Yeah.
And
it is your multitask.
With exception to the daily news items, which are anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes that I listen to it. Everybody else is comedians or something. And so they're all saying the same thing, including the great Bill Burr, who is a far more professional comedian than me, you know. And he said last week, he's like, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I have nothing to talk about. I need to, like, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
And so when professional comedians who are there to give the masses an escape are starting to lose it, the stress is hitting them, you know that it's like, all right, we all need to take a step back. I was listening to a show this morning. They are professionals, and they're going down from 2 to 1 a week because
You're a professional, by the way.
They can't do it anymore. It's a lot of work, and it's really challenging to bring funny topics when you are feeling like you're surrounded by a lot of chaos. Although I feel like I could continue to push for a little bit longer, I would be lying if I didn't say I was done. Like, Paula and I had a discussion on Friday night, and she's like, Jamie, I've been trying all day to work myself up for the show. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I cannot psych myself up for it. I'm so sorry. I need a break. And I said, you know what? Me too.
Yeah.
Actually, I legit do. With that being said, so do you.
Yeah.
Producer Deb. And so you're going fishing.
I am.
Paula, I've encouraged her to head up to Tahoe because it's open and it's beautiful, and there's definitely ways to socially distance and still enjoy the beauty of nature. You and I went up and did a drive last week for a few hours, and it was a really nice break. And that's actually when I decided we need a minute. We need a minute.
Yeah.
If we're going to continue and be funny and still, you know, as gross and crass as we want to be, we need to reboot or recharge a bit.
Sure. And
all of us do.
Yeah. And I think when like you had mentioned the comedians and stuff like that, when people where their profession relies on their ability to see the things in life that nobody else notices,
their perspective,
and make it funny, and so they can find things in the nooks and crannies, and they're running out.
Yes,
that's
everybody just needs a minute, and so although interestingly, of course, our downloads are increasing we're getting more downloads on average than we might during this time of year.
Sure.
Looking at the history of the show. However, it is obviously imperative for everybody to take care of themselves. So that's what we're going to do. And it's probably only a week because I don't think I can take it but if it's more, obviously we'll be super
just find out on social media. This is just us taking a little break. Hopefully it won't be more than a week.
It's not like we're going on hiatus, but it's not that at all. And Paul and I are good. We're super tight. Nothing weird is going on. It's nothing like that.
That other show.
Yeah, like the two women who hate each other.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't even remember the name. I give zero fucks.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why we're doing the show. One, it was a last minute decision to go on a summer break.
Yep.
We also have there's a lot going on that we wanted to talk about. We didn't want to just leave you hanging with some kind of post.
For us, right?
Right. And so, by the way, please continue communicating with us through our social media channels or our email, uglytruth@gmail.com, because your guys, you've been submitting some really, really funny relative stuff that you hear on our show and you go, oh my God, da da da. And I love it. So please don't stop doing that because I will read them online unless you say don't do it, but nobody ever does. Everybody wants to say, we believe
if they're submitting to you, they know what's coming.
Exactly. So please do that. Please still interact with us on our social media. I will make sure that we're still active on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
Well, I mean, honey, don't make it sound like we're gone for a month. That's not going to happen.
We don't know that.
Well,
you know nothing.
It's not going to happen. There's no way you'd be able to do that.
You're right.
I'm just telling you. Well, I mean, it's just, you'll need a release if nothing else, so.
Seriously. Okay, so before we get into any personal news, there's some celeb news that I'm dying to talk about. And, obviously this is something that Paula and I would normally share, but you're going to have to just deal with it. Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson is the next COVID divorce fatality.
Yeah.
She and her husband of, I think, 7 or 8 years are splitting up. And the quarantine actually made working out their problems worse. And so now they're calling it. Now, the husband is in the business, and I think that's how they met, but his dad was married to Reba McEntire.
The husband's dad.
Kelly Clarkson's husband, his father was married to Reba McEntire, and that's kind of how they met. Mm-hmm. So they're all married, the four of them.
Sure.
Kelly Clarkson's mother-in-law is now Reba, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's not her son, by the way. It's a stepson.
Oh, got it.
And Reba's husband cheated on her, and they split up.
When did that happen?
Years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then the rumors have been for many years that Kelly Clarkson's husband is not much for monogamy. And he's been cheating. And so now everybody's like, hey, at least Kelly gets Reba in the split.
Oh, right.
Because that's the most important thing, right?
Right.
That is the most important thing. But in all seriousness, they have two very young children. It sucks ass. They claim they're both heartbroken. And I'm like, whatever.
I saw the dumbest headline today.
What?
The headline literally said, Kelly Clarkson looks upset in first photos after announcing divorce. I'm like, what?
What?
Well, not only that, but any when you take 900 photos of somebody they're walking 100 feet.
They'll pick the one
of course,
and make it look bad.
Of course.
And I'm like, how are the paparazzi out and about doing this shit anyway? She's in the bowels of Montana. Like, what are you doing? Give her a break. Anyway, it's always sad when
and
when
they got
people
two
get
little
split.
kids.
They
too.
do. They have real young ones. So luckily, money is not going to be an issue. She's doing just fine. And I get the impression he also is doing just fine. What's weird, though, is I do believe her soon-to-be ex-husband is Blake Shelton's manager, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be awkward.
A little bit.
And
they sit really far apart on
They
The Voice,
do.
So.
That is true.
Well,
that is true.
Whatever.
So we'll see. And then we'll see, are Blake and Gwen going to get married post
That's what they
Corona?
say. They say.
We'll see. So isn't that a weird turn, right?
Yeah, weird.
That is strange. Okay, so here's the other thing. You and I watched The King of Staten Island last night.
Oh, yeah. Pete Davidson.
What did you think of the film?
I really liked it. In fact, he's not my favorite, generally speaking.
He's no one's favorite, generally speaking.
But true. But I wanted to see it, and you really wanted to see it.
Did.
And I loved it. I thought the acting was great.
Oh, real good.
Listen, Buscemi can steal the scene.
Oh my God, Steve Buscemi in every
he's
scene.
He's in a total of 9 minutes of the movie, and he nails it.
He's
really good.
I mean, when he was in a scene, I didn't see anybody else.
No.
He's so fucking good.
He owned those scenes.
Oh my
He was
God,
really
I
good.
just love him so
and
much.
Bill Burr did great in his
Oh my
first major
God.
role. He did really well. The mustache
amazing.
was hilarious.
Yes,
but,
it was hilarious.
and
Actually,
you know, anyway.
There's a scene where he and Pete Davidson get into an altercation, which was inevitable.
Yes.
Because I'm not giving anything away. Bill Burr is dating his mother.
Yeah.
And he hates him, of course.
And he's a 24-year-old guy.
He's a
living at
24-year-old
home.
slacker trying
Yeah,
to work his shit out.
Sure.
But the thing about his...
Which he says about 12 times in the movie.
Yes.
I'm trying to work my shit out.
Yeah, his character, though, is probably really reminiscent to who he is in real life.
Sure.
Because he realizes how lucky he has been.
Yeah.
But people in the business and comedians really believe in him. Like there must be something there that we don't see.
Oh no, he's got a
haven't
brilliance to him. He's
developed,
just broken.
Yeah, very broken. And in real life has had his share of tribulations and has been in and out of rehab
Yep.
and mental health issues and stuff like that. And so with that being said, it probably wasn't much of a stretch for him in this movie, but I actually liked it because I had read a review. They're like, well, they just didn't go far enough, or they could have been a little bit more funnier about it or whatever. And I'm like, when you have mental health issues, that is really what it's like. If you're a mom to someone who has significant mental health struggles, that is what it's like. There is no going deeper.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing it forever.
Yeah,
You don't have to do that for the sake of the audience. People know what it's like to deal with someone like that. It's really hard.
And there are lots of things that remind me how old I am.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei playing a mother
I know.
is one of them. She did it in Spider-Man too, and it really fucking is like, God damn, where's my cousin Minnie? Come on, or Untamed Heart.
Although,
That's who I want. Marissa Tomei she looks like a mother. She looks.
The haircut was terrible.
Well, I'm sure they did.
Or the wig or whatever
Yeah.
they made her wear. But when she was wearing like hats and cowboy hats and stuff, she is fucking foxy. She's so beautiful.
Yeah, they definitely
they mommed her up
for sure.
Yes.
And then back and forth depending on what
Yes.
she was trying to do.
I will say the most awkward thing for me was watching Bill Burr be romantic. I was just like,
because you know his wife.
I was all, ew, gross. Well,
You
no,
did
because
say
he's a comedian. And I'm just like, ugh, and I'm sure it was weird for him too.
It was a very different role from his little cameo in Mandalorian, that's for sure.
Right? And I was listening to his interview with Rogan earlier today, actually, and he said that, being an asshole in that movie was easy, but then when they said, no, you got to act like you are just love struck when you meet Marissa Tomei, he goes, she's going to think I'm an idiot. She's won an Oscar before. How could I do that, And so he said it took him a really long time, and he goes, and after 2 weeks, I realized that Judd Apatow wasn't going to fire me. I'm like, all right, I can relax. I think I got this.
There was a funny scene, actually, the bar scene, which is the same scene where Buscemi just kills it.
Yes, he did.
And Bill Burr says a line that I won't say because it's not a spoiler, but it's really funny and I wouldn't do it justice. But he says a line. I've never seen it more obvious in
organic,
a movie that it was a ad lib.
Yeah, it was improv for sure.
It was absolutely ad lib because everybody lost it.
They lost it.
It was really funny.
It was good. I legit recommend this film. Paula hates Pete Davidson, and I totally get it. But I think that she would even like it because they absolutely address how sickly he looks.
Yeah.
They address all of it.
Anorexic panda.
Everything. They're like, if I touch your skin, you turn to dust. It's like all of that is in there. I thought every single person in the film put out a great performance.
I wasn't distracted by anybody. I thought the roles were really good.
In other times, I hesitate to say, but I do believe there could be some Oscar-worthy nomination.
We paid $20, right, to rent it, right. So it's not unlike going to a movie. We made popcorn, it was cool, but I did enjoy it. I would definitely. It was worth the $20 for sure.
Oh, for sure, and highly recommended.
Yeah, it was better. Mm-hmm. I guess I went in just not having super high expectations because I wasn't too sure about it.
Yeah.
It exceeded them. It was definitely really good, I thought.
Well, and Judd Apatow, you either like how he does shit or you don't.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't like This Is 40. They thought it was too serious and negative. And I'm like, I don't know. I've lived that life. That's exactly what it's like when you're getting older and your kids are assholes and you're like, oh my God, I'm not young anymore. And all that is there. And I like his film style.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it tremendously.
And speaking of, Apatow's daughter,
Maud,
was great.
She really was. She even had a little bit of a Long Island accent.
Yes.
I highly recommend the film to anybody who's interested. It's definitely not what you expect.
Yeah, it's good.
But you're not going to die a lot. You're not going to pee your pants laughing. But there is a lot of funny stuff in it.
Yeah.
A lot of funny stuff. But dark humor is, we've talked about this for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
Dark humor is our
I think
style.
you nailed it when you said, I don't think this is much of a stretch. I mean, it obviously was very inspired by his life.
Yes.
Dad was a firefighter, the whole thing. But
it is true. That is
even
true.
mentions that he's got Crohn's disease.
And he does have
has
Crohn's disease. He, like,
in real
legit
life.
does.
So actually, that was funny. Paula's like, he always looks like he has an autoimmune disease. And I'm like,
He does.
He does. So
It's true.
Anyway,
okay, so highly recommended. Moving on, this morning I saw Misha Tate had her baby. Misha Tate's the UFC fighter from former UFC fighter. Well, she still trains. I mean, she's not going to fight
She's not
anymore,
gonna fight.
but she does still
She
maintain a
left the
training.
UFC.
She lives in Singapore with her. I think they're married now. Her husband. They had a surprise baby a year and a half ago, and then she had, I believe was a planned baby, and she was due any day. And I saw the post, and I was like, why the hell are they in a bathroom floor?
did she do the...
She had an accidental home birth.
Oh.
She was planning on going to the hospital to, have her baby, and the baby decided, nope, not today. And so she ended up giving birth in her bathroom at home on the floor.
Wow.
And that was the first picture.
Get the mop.
Well, they must have cleaned it up because there was not a hole. She might have been on the toilet, and that happens a lot, by the way. Women absolutely think they're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, and they're in labor, and the next thing you know, they're like, there's a head in the toilet, and then you're like, the dad delivered his son, and and it didn't say how big it was, but he looked like a kind of a nugget, but she's a small girl, so
sure.
And he is too. Anyway, so congratulations, Misha, on your bathroom baby.
Cupcake.
Yes, I love her so much. So in that vein, the big announcement is producer Dub's daughter, my stepdaughter, is married.
She's 20. She's going to be 25. 26.
26, and she is pregnant.
Yes,
which means producer Dub's going to be a grandpa. Ooh. Grandpa Dub in the house.
I might go with Grandpa Dub,
I think Grandpa Dub is a great name for you.
I saw a list of traditional names in different languages, different things like that, and they're all kind of lame. By the way, Lolly and Pop was in there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Lolly and Pop was one.
Yeah, we told one of our children. I said, "Oh no, we've already got our grandparent names," and she's like, "Oh, what is it?" And I go, "We're going to be Lolly and Pop." She goes, "That is so ridiculous. If you do that, I will never speak to you again. I'm not calling you Lolly." And I said, "Well, you don't have to. Your children do. Your future children do." And she's like, "No, that's dumb." And I said, "All right, fine." So,
but I've seen some modern ones that are like G-Dog.
That's dumb.
And G-Dad. I saw G-Dad.
I don't approve of any of those.
There's several, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because a lot of people are saying, well, what is your name going to be? And I'm like, here's the thing. I'm dealing with a family who wouldn't allow their child to call me mom when she was being raised. So the reality is that I don't feel a big pull to give myself a grandparent name because they're just like, fuck her, she's not a grandparent. And so it's like, well, it's up to the baby.
Yes.
Really.
Ultimately, it is up.
It's up to the baby.
In fact, in looking at the names, I would say half of the traditional names, I'm air quoting traditional names, but half of them have come from kids not being able to say grandma, grandpa, they're boompa, and there's all these kinds of, they're really cute names, but they're a lot of them are just ultimately the baby decides
tells
to some
you
extent.
Because
there's no way a little 2-year-old or 1-year-old is going to be able to say Grandpa Dub. I just don't see that happening.
Well, you never know. But I remember when I had Tyler, when he was meeting all of his aunts, he could not say Paula.
Oh, right.
He could not say it. And so he tried, and it came out Bobby.
Yeah.
And so now, for the last 100 years, she's been Aunt Bobby to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. And so that's essentially how I figure it's going to happen, is that, when I meet the little infant at some point, it will give me my name, and I'm cool with it. I'm not,
J-Dog.
There's nothing... I love your daughter just as much as I, love everybody else, but... our relationship's a little different. It's not like if
you're stepmom,
I'm a stepmom,
right? So,
but when Kenzie has a baby, it's a game on.
You're picking.
But it's just going to be like, no, I'm grandma, but we'll let them decide what that means. Yeah. So this one, I think it's going to be like, Grandpa Dub and Jamie are coming.
No,
I think
can't be that. There's no way.
But I'm very happy for, obviously we've
very
known
happy
for a
for
while,
them,
but
yep.
we had to wait until everything was nice and safe and secure. And she is super healthy and we're all excited, and December baby, it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what kind of mama she'll be.
Yeah, me too. I think she's always been great with little kids her whole life.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a different thing.
Never seen her change a poopy diaper, though.
No,
I'll be curious.
No, so
I'll be curious.
Yeah. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most is just those kind of standard rules don't apply grandparent things that you can do. Like you don't have to do any of the boring shit.
Yeah,
like you don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. I mean, unless you're some sort of caretaker, but you get to be the cool parent.
You get to be the one that's like, all right, we're done. Here you go.
Right.
Enjoy your sickness.
Right. And you're I saw an article because I've been just kind of reading up on it because, we're pretty young for being grandparents. So.
Oh, yeah, we are. I mean, I think we are, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I have friends who are my age who have multiple grandchildren, but we also I was raised in a town where a lot of people married their high school sweethearts and started having babies pretty quickly. But in general terms, most people aren't grandparents at 50.
Yeah.
Most aren't. But it seems like it doesn't really apply anymore. It just seems like everyone has grandkids now. It's so crazy.
Yeah. So.
It's really crazy.
Anyway, so it was talking about a lot of the things that are the benefits. It's like as a grandparent, usually you can't do any wrong. Like you're not the disciplinarian. You do all the fun stuff. You get to give the best presents. You get to be a little bit naughty in the sense that you can, in theory. I mean, I know that's fairly stereotypical, but it depends on the kind of grandparent you are and want to be. But
it just depends. Like when we have our niece and nephew over, I'm like that for sure. Yeah. And I know because it's my sister's children, she gets mad at me. But when it's a grandchild, it's like, there's so much there that I can't be mad at my parents. How do I deal with it? Right. So on that note, and we can revisit the Natalie having her baby again, but
I'm sure over the next several months that'll happen.
But segueing a bit, because this has reminded me of a conversation I had with Tyler, is Tyler's decided to try veganism. Oh. He wants to be a vegan.
Yes.
And he is being inspired by several very close friends in his life that have been practicing veganism for years.
Yeah. Is it veganism or can't you just be vegan?
You can be vegan, but I believe it's veganism, like vegetarianism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isms are not good, in my opinion.
Meat eater isms? I don't know. Isms aren't. Anyway.
The wise Ferris Bueller.
Right. So he's doubled down. It's been about a week where he's really decided he's going to give it a go. Now, he's not someone who will not give it up he will go, you know what, I can't do this. He will, but he's really going to give it a concerted effort. And, I do all the things that mothers do because I'm not a vegan.
Every time I turn around, you're looking at some other vegan recipe online.
Well, I'll explain myself.
Okay.
When he said that he was going to decide to do it, the first thing you said, of course, is is beer vegan? And he had to think about it for a minute. He's like, I don't know.
I've got to circle back with him. I found something that he didn't know.
Oh, God.
I just asked him if fishing was.
Right.
I know eating the fish, no.
But is it appropriate
to even go fishing? Like if you catch and release or whatever.
Well, Tyler has someone very close to him who won't eat the Impossible Burger because they test on mice.
Yeah, they tested it on animals.
And so she's like, it's not actually vegan. Right. If you're testing on creatures to see if you can get fake meat to bleed, it's not really vegan. So I was like, okay, I see what we're doing. There's nuances to it. And I think what it is you pretty much have to decide what your morals are on vegan. But interestingly, I said, oh, great, Tyler. So if this sticks and you have children, you're going to raise vegan kids, I would assume. And I'm like, you realize when they come over, is this going to be one of those things where if I give them something like Cheetos or ice cream or something, and you're going to
Oreos are vegan.
And
apparently.
I said, or Oreos, you're going to be like, you can't see my kids anymore. And he's like, well, first of all, Oreos are vegan. And I said, okay. And he goes, and I don't know. And I said, all right. I said, I'm just curious because I don't know how deep, how far, or and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm all, it's like if somebody was like, I'm Jewish and I don't eat pork, I'm not going to hand a kid a rib. Right. But I mean, I don't know what we're dealing with yet because it's kind of early. But the reason that I'm looking up so many vegan recipes is the mother in me, the caretaker in me, is I need to be able to provide food for my child, even though he's a man. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I need to know how to cook for my son. And so now I'm immersing myself in vegan cooking because I'm not going to turn us vegan, but I need to have an arsenal so that when he's around, I can be like, oh, I have something I can feed you so you can get fat and gain weight because you're too thin.
Well, and we had a daughter, our middle daughter was vegetarian for a decade. So, but that's not nearly as hard is the wrong word because it makes it sound negative, but
no,
it's not nearly as hard to do vegetarian as it is vegan.
Right.
And vegan, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand vegan is that is normally not a health thing usually.
It's a principle.
It's a principle thing. Like you can, a lot of people are vegetarian for the health, what they perceive to be the health benefits.
I could totally be vegetarian, by the way.
No.
Oh, I could totally do
Never.
it. The only thing the hardest thing about any...
I should be closer to it than I am, but...
The only thing that is difficult for me as far as restrictive is the dairy. I would be struggling with giving up some of the dairy. I can give up ice cream and milk and all that stuff because I don't have that much anyway, but like butter and eggs, I would struggle a bit. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, and I'm not a fake... I guess, is it even right to call it fake food? Because it is food. But it just seems like a lot of vegan and vegetarian things are designed to replicate things you can't eat.
And I had that discussion with him and his friend who was here. And we were, because I don't know a lot about vegan culinary, I provided them with a lot of grilled vegetables and hummus. And I did the best I could with what I knew at the last minute.
Well, we kept it simple. It was just vegetables.
I'm sure they were starving when they left because it wasn't like sustaining. But I asked that. I said, so do you eat a lot of like the fake bacon and the fake cheese? Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, it's really, really expensive. And to me, it's like, if you're going to be vegan, I would think that predominantly be plant-based. Like, that's the whole point. There's tofu and there's other things. But I mean, in general...
Well, tofu's plant-based.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like just greens and stuff. There's manufactured products.
Yeah.
And jackfruit is a big thing for meat substitute and mushrooms. Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, that stuff is really expensive. And so it's really like junk foody. You have it like junk food, like you're like, I don't want to cook tonight. Because what I have noticed with vegan cooking is it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, because...
A lot of time.
Because you have to have 87 spices to make it taste like anything. That's why.
Yes. But hey... If that's what you want to do.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I mean, but it's hard to judge because it is almost always on principle, and it's not fair to judge if somebody's got those principles. Then
I'm good with it.
Godspeed.
And if they're willing to make the effort, then who am I? But as a mom wanting to feed her children, or her, that to me is why. And I'm like, why do we need nutritional yeast? What is cacao? It's like I'm going through all this stuff
trying
nightmare
chocolate.
Figure it out. No, that's carob, and it's terrible.
Terrible.
But anyway, so now that's my conundrum and that's my thing. And I even told Tyler and I said, you can do whatever you want. I just want you to know that how lucky you are to live in a time when you can actually choose your diet, because it wasn't that long ago where you just had to eat what you could get.
Right.
And it's not like that now, which is great. But I'm just saying that in any other era, you would not be able to go, I think I'm just going to have some grass and, fruit, and I'm going to be able to sustain myself on the field. No, you're not. No, you'll die. I mean, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But now, of course,
Sure.
We're in a time where you can still be selective about your diet. So I wish him the best.
Yeah.
I am struggling because I can't feed my son. And that's an innate thing about my life that I'm trying to work with. So that is why I've been so obsessive about looking at all the vegan stuff. But anyway, I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Got you.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Natalie and her impending baby and you becoming a grandpa?
I'm sure it'll be a topic for months to come.
I mean, I know that you seemed a bit shell-shocked when even though you already knew that when she announced it publicly, you seemed a bit like, okay, this is real now. I am definitely, and I absolutely love the way your parents are handling it, because my mom's like, wow, that's so great, first grandbaby. But your dad, like when we told him, he almost started crying, and he was just like he was watching the Raiders win a game.
Yeah,
he's like, yes, like have we been waiting for this? I had no idea.
So on my mom's side, this is technically fourth great grandchild.
Grandbaby, yeah.
Mm-hmm. On my dad,
none.
His first.
Yeah.
So
big reaction difference.
He's like not that it's less important to either one. No. It's just the reaction's very different.
I love
for
it.
him. So
I'm really happy for them. Like it's I mean, first of all, if I became a great grandmother, I would shit my pants. I'd be like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
That is inappropriate. And I hope that I'm not a great-grandparent until I'm in my late 70s, for God's sake.
Let's see. I mean, it would have
I want to be really elderly.
You would have to be... You would want to be like 75 or older.
Please.
In an ideal situation.
Please. I mean, and I can see myself talking to a grandchild saying, do not make me a great-grandmother in my 60s.
Which is kind of like what we told the girls. Tyler is please do not make us grandparents before we're 50. And Natalie, good job.
Waiting till the...
Good job.
I mean, literally as the clock struck 12, she's like, okay, now we can do it.
That's one of the first things we said to her. Thank you. Thank you for letting us get
the
there.
only reason is because I unfortunately made my mother a grandmother in her 40s.
Yeah.
And she's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
You weren't the only one. Your sister, too.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Stephanie had a baby around the same time you did.
We were such sluts. I swear to God. All right. Anyway, so let's go. Now, you actually have a Ugly and Awkward moment, and I have an Ugly and Awkward moment. What's your awkward moment?
So yesterday, and this was great, we didn't talk about this, but we've been dying to get out and do our thing, and our thing is typically going to wineries or just Napa in general, and so yesterday we did that. We went tasting at the Mothership, our favorite sparkling place. They opened with distance, tables and reservations only, and
I'm really loving the distance.
They're wiping down everything every time somebody leaves, and everybody's wearing masks, so it's kind of a weird kind of experience, but anyway, so we go, and we're getting out of the car, and I forgot your mask in the car, so I got back in, got your mask, and immediately dropped it in a bush. I was like, oh, shoot, no big deal. So I reach in instinctively into the bush to get it out of the bush, and it's a rose bush.
Yes.
So that didn't feel good.
You have scratches from your shoulder down to your knuckle, but you deserved it for some reason. You got lippy with me.
Yeah, I
said you. I don't remember what it was specifically, but
I remember reaching in, doing it,
and you're
going,
like,
ow, and then go, I deserve that, and then handing you.
Yeah,
So
I can't remember what it was. But it was fine for me.
I'm sure it was. You had a little.
I guess
you had the look.
it.
Yeah, you had the look you have right now. That's the look you had on your face.
Satisfied smile smirk.
And then, in fact, you realized it was a rose bush, but until we were sitting at the table drinking our first glass of champagne, and you noticed my hand was bleeding. You're like, oh. No, normal people go, oh, is that from the rose bush? That's not how you were. You're like, oh, is that from the rose bush? Or you dropped my mask? Yeah,
that's
anyway,
too bad.
So that's my whatever moment.
That's unfortunate. I would say I'm sorry for you, but I'm not.
I know.
It's okay. We're all on edge right now. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, so mine is typical. This happened about a week ago. Now, I have been pretty open about all the hormonal changes that I'm going through. It sucks, but I'm still, I'm not Dale bred, but it's, my body's going, what the hell is going on, all the time.
Sure.
Well, in that sense, and you definitely have not hated it, is my boobs keep getting bigger and then they go down and then they're huge again. It's like breasts everywhere, right? And so all my shirts look like they're super like I'm wearing a normal shirt and it still looks like ridic. Like I'm trying to, pick up men. Anyway, I'm also losing my eyesight like crazy, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay,
I'm ready
so that
to fucking
happened
LASIK.
to me. That happened to me when I turned 52, and I don't know if it was all mental or whatever, but like glasses weren't working like they used to. It's like
I
this
think it's a little bit psychosomatic.
I'm sure,
but. Anyway, I also think it's allergies or being tired can also cause your eyes to act different.
Sure.
So anyway, I'm constantly looking for glasses. And so I was in the middle of something, and because I have shockingly a small face, my glasses fall off a lot. And even though we tighten them, it's my fault because I put my glasses up on top of my head like sunglasses, and so I stretch them out.
You loosen the screws
all the time, and I'm terrible about it, but I don't give a shit. So I do it all the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So I was looking for something, and I'm like, I can't see. And I'm like, where are my glasses? And you were standing in front of me, and you're like, I don't know. Where did you leave them? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm losing them all the time. And I look down in my cleavage, And there are my glasses, resting sexily and comfortably in my large breasts.
Put them there, or did they fall there?
I put them there
Okay.
because I didn't want to drop them. And because the boobs are kind of round right now this week, they rest nice and comfortably in the cleave.
I see.
And I was like, oh, I literally feel like Jessica Rabbit. Like it's. I'm sure that no one's complaining about the view, but
I am not.
You know, it's annoying. It's really annoying. And so, anyway, they were there the whole time, and it's just like when people are looking for their phone with their phone.
Yeah,
it was that kind of thing. It was awkward. Anyway, but that's your typical awkward moment for me.
It's a good Jamie one.
It really is. All right. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, we are taking that break we talked about.
We're gonna reevaluate, but we are definitely taking a couple of shows off. We do have some content we might share, but we're not sure how that's gonna go. Don't bank on it, but we definitely need a minute to reevaluate.
I don't know if reevaluate's a good word.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. We just need a minute to just rejuvenate, kind of focus on our well-being, on our, mental health a bit, which I think everybody does and everybody needs to do. Right. You are going to go into the wilds.
So I'm going it's a good time because you would have missed at least a show anyway, most likely.
It's fine.
So. It's fine.
It's fine. So with that being said, we will be back very, very shortly.
Sure.
But take this time that we're taking to listen to maybe some educational podcasts, maybe broaden your horizons.
Listen to older episodes of ours if you haven't. Share it with your friends. Review it. Do the things necessary to keep us motivated and to really take this show to the next level. I'm very excited.
Okay.
That I get a little bit of a break and that you guys are going to come back stronger than ever.
We really will. I know we will. And we love each other very much.
Yeah.
And we love you too, producer Deb.
Aw, that's nice.
All right. Have a good week, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.